Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
Now we will finish session. Can you explain about this company insider type in job classification and job profiles? I went to the video but I couldn't understand this. What is the job? Who is a company insider? Can anyone explain who is a company insider? Higher management was actually information, critical information. Correct, which may affect, which may influence the stock price. Somebody who has information which may influence the stock price, that kind of a job is called as a company insider kind of a job. Your profile, if that job profile is such that they will have information which may impact the stock price, and we will just mark it as yes, company insider, and we will decide which kind of company insider. Is it an officer insider? Is the board of directors insider? You have to declare. That is about the company insider. Do we get it? And how do we get to know which insider to declare? Do we get it? During the requirements. Yes, 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 you will get it from the requirements. Yes, the business user will the same for job. Classification also, they will let which job classification you have to configure. To configure, we don't decide that. And I missed this. Can we roll back? Whatever business process we do in a position staffing model, I've seen in a job staffing model. How about position staffing model can be rolled back? Yes, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Let me show you. This is what everybody. Then let me show you how to undo something. Let's go to Axis Motor Sales. Here we created a couple of positions. Let's go to staffing. Here, let's say I want to undo this particular position. We go to position overview and then we have this option called business process history. Business process history, if you go there, you will see this is the business process that had happened. Create position. Woogood Training Administrator. This is the business process that was used to create this particular position. Now, if we want to get rid of it, we do not want this to be position management. We want to undo this. We will go to the related actions of the business process and then business process and resigned. This will undo whatever you have done. Rescind. This is the way to undo it. You should not close the position. You cannot inactivate or freeze the position. That will not help anyway. That will just add to your troubles if you create a position. If you want to now change the staffing model, you go to the position history, to the business process history. You go to the business process and you resent. That's what you need to do. Similarly, for a job management organization, for a job management organization also. If you want to do that, let's say we did this one Sys Motors. If we go to staffing and hiring restrictions, here also is position management. Where did I create the job management then? Here, if I want to undo this, I don't want to do this. I want to undo. I have to go to the business process. Here it is, the hiring restriction business process. I will go to the related actions of that. And I will go to business process and I will resend. Then it will allow me to edit the staffing model. Got it all? I hope you don't have to do this. But if you absolutely must, then this is how you do it. You go to the deleted actions of the business process and resend. Nothing else will help. Editing the restrictions. Closing. The restrictions, they will not help. They will just add to your list of actions that you have to undo or receipt. All now, let's quickly take a look at your assignment 2. Now, assignment 2. We did this part already where we created the organization structure. Remember that we created 4 organizations, XYZ Motors at the top, then XYZ Motors Executive, and it has 2 subordinates, XYZ Motors Sales and XYZ Motors Manufacturing. We created this 4 organizations. Let me see if I have the structure handy here. This was the solution. For XYZ Motors, the manager is Daniel Sloan. The member is also Daniel Slower. For XYZ Motors Executive, the manager which will be inherited, Daniel Slow. One will be inherited as the manager. And there are 4 members, Olivia Booth, Martin Walters, Emma Stern, and Ethan Kellogg. For XYZ Motors, we will hire Clotuck and we will assign the role of manager to Martin Walters. For XYZ Motors Manufacturing, we will hire one worker, that is No Watson, I think. And then we will assign the role of manager to Olivia Booth. This is what we are going to do as part of this assignment. Now you have, when you start working on it, you will create the 4 supervisory organizations. You can create XYZ Motors at the top and then create subordinates to create the other 3. Now what I will show you is how to hire a worker. How to hire a worker, because that is not what is explicitly mentioned here. The rest of the things you will be able to do, just that the hire might be a bit tricky. Let me show you. The hiring for both a job management organization and the position management organization in your assignment. It is only job management, but still I will show you the one for job management. As for position management, first we will go at the top level. Organization at the top level, organization that is XYZ Motors. We will go here and the first thing we have to do is simplify the business. As of now, we are not very familiar with the business processes we do. Not want to go through the conditional approval and different types of tasks that we will typically need to do. We will create a very simplified version of the hire business process. How to do that? We go to the related actions and then we go to business process, create copy or link definition. This is mentioned in your assignment. You don't need to take notes as of now. Create copy or link definition. What is the business process type? First of all, we are going to do hire. The hire business process, we search for hire and we will say none of the above. We are not choosing any of the copy or link option. We are just saying none of the above and click why we are doing it. We will understand when we do business process. Week 3. But now just follow along what are given in the assignment. Just create a copy of the hire business process and click all, and you will also copy another business process, that is the edit hiring restrictions. For all of your assignments, I mean, for this assignment at least. Sorry, assignment 2. All your staffing models are job management, and when you create the job profile, you do not have to fill in a lot of details. You may, if you want to practice your profiles, you may want to put it, but it is not necessary, and the hiring restrictions for all of your organization are also very simple and straightforward. They are saying no job restrictions for hiring. It will say no job restrictions, but this is a simple thing we did. Copied the business process definition. Now for this organization, XYZ Motors, is it ready for hiring? What do you think? Is it for hiring now? What is? Because it has a position because it has a position and it is available to fill. Very important. It has to be ready, approved, available to fill in the position management organization. This is not in your assignment, but still let me show you in a position management organization. You can go to the related actions of the position and initiate the hire. Otherwise, you can also go to the related actions of the organization and then do the hire same thing. The only difference is if you start it from the position will be automatically selected for you. If you go from the supervisory organization, you have to select the position. That's the only difference. If there is a position available, I prefer initiating from the position itself. One less thing to worry about. You go from the related actions of the position and you go to hire, choose the second option. Now you may be confused why we have 4 hire employees again. We will talk about this when we do security. Somebody messed this up. We will clean it up when we do security, but as of now, try to use a second option, hire employee. Don't ask me why, I'll tell it to you when we do security. Second option in hire employee. Then we will create a new pre-hire. A pre-hire is the candidate that you are going to hire in the system. Before you hire, you must create a candidate, that is a worker that you are, that is a candidate you are going to hire into the position or into the organization. First, we need to create a pre-hire, create a new pre-hire. Click when we create a pre-hire. We have to mention some name and address. We will call it as Oro underscore Daniel Slow One. That is the name of our CEO. We are going to fill this. We are going to use this Daniel Slow One we have to give. A contact information. The simplest and the easiest way to give a contact information is to put in an email. Otherwise, if you put in address, it will do a validation on the zip code itself. If you put a phone number, it might do a validation on the area code. Just keep it simple. Go for an email. We will say D slow one, first character of the first name and the entire last name D slow one. And we have a prefix of WBU for everything that we are doing at the rate. Use testcom. Do not use real domains, Google or Yahoo or Ready for or Outlook. Do not use those real email domains, because what happens if for some reason the error notifications are triggered? We don't want to spam somebody else's email with proper error notification. They may not even be aware of it. Do not use those real domains. Use something testcom. And in the type of address, choose work address, and then it automatically the primary work, etc., would be selected. You are covered. Click All now you see, we have created a free hire called Daniel Sloan. We are hiring Daniel. Sloan, and what is the hire date? In the assignment it says use today's date as the hire date. We will use today's date. The reason is optional, but you may put in one for reporting purposes. It's a new hire. And let's say it's a new position, new hire, new position. The position is already selected for you. Employee type, we will choose regular. It's a regular employee. The job profile we have to choose. The job profile we will select. Why we don't have the job profile? Because we have not put that in our hiring restrictions. That is why it is asking you for the job profile. We created one. Let's search for the one that we created. Chief Executive Officer. This is a job. A profile that we created, we will choose that. What is the time type? Is this going to be a full-time worker or a part-time worker? Let's select full-time and the location. In your assignment, the location for Tanya Slow one is Chicago, Chicago. You may want to choose that, or if you want, if you have created any other location, you may choose that as let's go for OU Raleigh. I would recommend that you create a version of Chicago or UU underscore Chicago or something and then use that. As part of your assignment here, I use OU Raleigh just to show that we can choose any location. But one very important thing I want you to notice at the time of hiring is the location a mandatory field? Yes or no? Yes, yes. Is the job profile a mandatory field? Yes, yes, yes. These two are very important. The job profile and the location has to be mentioned at the time of hiring. All, and this is the location that we created. This location will take effect for the particular worker. It doesn't matter what is the primary location of the supervisory organization. You saw that it did not prompt automatically. It doesn't say take the supervisory organizations. Location does it. It doesn't because it doesn't matter. It has no bearing. The primary location of the supervisory organization, no bearing on the location of the individual worker. Now click on Submit. Submit. Let me ask you this, if a page has Submit at the bottom, what does it tell you? It goes for approval. It has a business process associated with it. That is what we would say. We do not know if it has an approval or not because we created a simplified version of the higher business process a few minutes ago, and there we did not put in any approval or anything. We just left it as it is one step. The moment you create the business, you initiate the business process, it will be completed because there are no other steps. That's what we did. Now, once you submit, if you see this green tick mark, that means it went through successfully. The process is complete. There is no other pending action. You may want to click on View Details to see what happened. Expand the details and process. And you see that there is this position Peak 6049. Busio. The process is hire Daniel flown and the overall status is successfully completed. For this supervisory organization is scroll down. You can view the details. This was the position. The employee type is regular. The job profile, location, everything that we selected is showing up. All, and how did it get the 38 as the location? Weekly hours, full time, full time, full. time and we. And where did we select this? Location, location, correct. Yes, in the location. In the location, we selected the time profile as standard hours as 38. More question. And where did you get? Sorry, your voice is breaking. We are not able to. Is my voice breaking for everybody? No, not for me. No, not for me. No. Might be a problem with your computer. Can I just try to disconnect and reconnect again and see if that helps? All while he does that, and where did all this additional information come from? The job category as in direct labor classification. Management level itself, where did this? Absolutely from the job profile, correct. All this information came from the job profile. When we created the job profile yesterday, we had put in all this information. Correct. Now it says that the process is successfully completed. What do we expect if we go to the supervisory organization XYZ Motor? Now we have a member. You see, initially there was no members, but now we have a member. The member is Daniel Sloan. Got it. We will hire a worker. The first task is complete. Here, I have a question before approval. We are able to see here to that member. Yes, because we simplified the business process. We got rid of the approvals. We said no. Approvals necessary. When we start the hiring process, we just want to create a simplified version now. We will do approvals when we do business process. We will make it really, really complicated and realistic. But as of now, we just a very simple business process for hire that there is only one step. The moment you initiate it, it will be completed. Nothing else. I have another doubt. When we submit after create hiring employee, I will get a green tick. Mark no. Is there any kind of error we get after while doing that? You may get errors. You may get errors if your task is not authorized. If the process has not been defined properly. You will get errors. Yes, that is the reason First, I created a copy of the business process, made it simple. Then I started the hiring process. Yes, I mean, if the process has not been defined properly. If the roles have not been set, you will get errors. That's why please follow along the assignment steps properly. First, if the assignment says, let me show you the assignment, as it will ask you to create subordinate organizations. How to do it. And then organization assignments. How to create organization assignments. Set hiring restrictions. You will set some hiring restrictions, but here create hire and hiring. Restrictions business process. Click on the X's Motors related actions and select business. Process create copy or link definition. That is exactly what I did. Select the hire business process type. Make sure none of the above option is selected and click all. On the business process definition, leave only step and click. This is exactly what I did. Now what? What did this help us to do? This helped us to create a higher business process with only one step, that is the initiation. If we do not have any approvals at sell or review, as of now, we just have one step, that is initiation. Just a very simplified version just to help you understand the process of hiring. We hired this worker. Now what should we do? In this particular organization, who is the manager? Now we have assigned the role of man. I mean, we have hired Daniel Flown. We can assign the role of manager. to Daniel Sloan how to do that. Anybody would to take a try how to assign the role of manager to Daniel Sloan. Related actions roles is I'm honest, perfect related action roles. I find roles perfect. You guys are doing great. 16th of March, we will select today's date and then we will select the role that we want to assign. We will assign the role of manager. That's at the top. Let's search. For manager Chris, while I am creating a supervisory organization and assigning roles. I mean, there are too many manager objects. I mean, which one do I select? And when I select the one which, let me see, even I'm confused now because these people have created too many managers. Let me look at the other one. I have to clean it up. Either me or somebody has to clean it up. Anyway, let's go for this manager and we will assign it to OUU Daniel Slower. The worker that we hired just now, and click. Or let's see, start descending just to see if your old assignments have been done. Let's go to, there are two managers assigned to Logan McNeil, effective date of 7th. Where is our manager? It is in top, it is at the top. There it is, three managers. Roles, we have to clean this up. It's too messy. Then in case if we click, use this checkbox saying that the manager name has to appear in the supervisory organization. Will we get these three names? That's the question. Let's see. Oh, this one is not correct. This one. This one is correct. Looks correct. I will clean this up. Don't worry, somebody is doing things they should not be anyway. Now we have created our worker and we have also assigned the role of manager to that particular worker. This was the position management organization. But where is that position? Thank you. It's a little tedious. You see, there is nothing here anymore. What happened to it? It's cool having school. It has been failed. Yes, because when we had created the position, it said unfilled because there was no one occupying that position. But now we have hired a worker in that position. Isn't it? This is the worker view Daniel Sloan. The position is failed and we said that in this position there will be one worker. Now can I hire one more worker? Now we have to first create a position. Then we will be able to hire. As of now, if I start creating, it will say, hey, what's the position? We don't have a position yet. First, we need to create a position, then we will be able to hire. Just remember this. Sure, I have a question. Earlier, we have discussed that there is a probability of changing position management to staff management. And you have shown us how sorry position to job management and staffing as we hired one employee here. Do even this possible now? Technically it is. Then what do we have to do is we have to undo the hire. The same way we have the hire, first we have to undo the hire, then the position will show up as open again. If we undo the hire, then we will see the position. Then we have to undo the position. We go to the business process and we resign the business process. Let me show you. Where to find the hire where we can rescind? You go to the related actions of the worker and there is something called as worker history. You click on view worker history and here is the hire business process. In the worker history, you have the hire business process. If you go to the related actions business process, rescind first, we rescind the hire, then we rescind the position, then we will be able to change the staffing model. Not something that we would love to do because you see much of undoing things. You don't want to undo many things. And I have one more question. I have seen this salary type as rate. Sorry, at the time of hiring there is an option called salary type rates and something I missed it. How does it has been inherited as salaried pay type? Yes, it was inherited as salary because in the job profile we mentioned that for those countries and for us and okay, the period type will be salaried. It has been inherited from job profile and from the job profile. Yes, we had put it in the job profile. If you left it as blank, it would not have filled it up. You can specify that in the job profile. Thank you. Now let's take a quick look at hiring in a job management organization. Here we have a job management organization. The job profile is training manager. Here what we do is this is executive. Let's hire Martin Walters for example. We go to the related actions of the organization hire again. Take the second option. Hire employee. Now what should I do? Which option should I take? Create a new. Free. Hire you the new pre-hire? Absolutely yes. Create a new pre-hire. Then what happens? I put in some details. Martin Walters. Who you? Martin Walters in the contact information. Remember to give something. Who underscore M Walters at Tescom. Work. Email all click. And then we choose a date. Let's choose today's date, which is 16th of March. Choose a hiring reason, new hire, new position, all employee type. What is employee type? You don't have to remember. You go to for current country and you choose one of the employee types. We use regular. Let's use regular and that's it. The rest of the things were automatically filled. Job profile and full time. And Rally, where did these values come from? Sure, from the job. Profile, job profiler. Is this one training manager? What about full time? What about local? Location, where did these values come from? From the hiring restrictions, you are correct. From the hiring restrictions. We had put in these values in the hiring restrictions. If you had left them as blank, no job restrictions kind of thing, then this would not be automatically filled. You would have to select those values. As part of your assignment, you will choose no job restrictions as the hiring restriction. You have to choose manually, select the job profile, time, type, location, etc. While we were hiring in position staffing model, then these restrictions were not inherited. It happened. No, we had not put in anything. We had just put the job profile. That's all we had done. We had not put it inherited. Yes, if you define that in the position restrictions, then yes, at the time of hiring, you will see these options automatically fill in. All I click on submit again. It completed successfully because I did not have any other steps in the higher business process, correct? That's why it's straight away completed. Let me go and check the members of the supervisory organization. We have Martin Walters. We have Martin Walters as the particular. As a member of this organization. And one more thing I want you to notice carefully. For Martin Walters, you see what is mentioned here, this second column. What does it say? What does the heading say? Job winning. It says the job, the heading says job. If I go to XYZ Motors, and if I look at the supervisor, if I look at Daniel Sloan, what? Does this say position? Why? Because of the staffing model that we chose, because of the staffing model. Absolutely yes, because the staffing model here is position management. This is a position. If I go to executive here, the staffing model is job management, job management. This is a job. Now, one more interesting thing, after we hired Daniel Sloan, the staffing model started showing up as empty, and you all said it happened because the position that we had created was filled. That's what you said. There was nothing in that page, just it was written. Position management, but in job management, I continue to see this training manager location for full-time employee is available to fill. Why is that? Why do I keep? Because we can hire as many as we want. There's no restriction on the number. But perfect because there is no restriction on the number of workers you can hire. There is no restriction in position management. You define the number of positions up front, isn't it? Define that one position, two positions. You define it up front at the time of creating the position, and you cannot hire more people than that. But in a job manager, this is a flexibility. This is a flexibility. Now I can hire 3 more workers in executive. There were 4 workers in executive. I needed to hire 4 workers, Olivia, Martin, Emma, anything. I have already hired Martin. I now need to hire Emma, Ethan, and Olivia. Do I need to create separate positions for them again? The answer is no. I can straight away go here and do and keep doing hiring. I can go to hire and I can go and hire 1 more person, but the same thing can I do for XYZ Motors, which is a position management organization. No, you cannot. I cannot because the position is not there. What do I need to do here? I am a position. I need to create a position. Then I would be able to hire. You see the operational overhead that is added in a position management organization. That is the reason we say that in a job management organization, you have a lot of flexibility and speed. We can quickly go there and hire 1 more person in position. Management. You have to first create a position, then you would be able to hide. Not a bad thing. but just that it adds a lot of control, but it slows you down a little bit, isn't it? Because you have to create positions first, then you would be able to hire, or you get the idea how to hire a worker in a job management organization versus a position management organization. It's basically the same thing, just that in the position management organization, you first create the positions, then you start hiring in the job management organization. You set the hiring restrictions at the organization level, and then you do this hiring any questions because you would need to do this as part of your assignment to you would need to hire all these workers. All the 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 workers, all the 7 workers. You need to hire, let me give you a hint. You need to create 7 job profiles XYZ Chief Executive, Sales Specialist, Office Manager, and on. You need to create this 7 job profiles and you would need to do the hire in the respective organization. I see a very, very common mistake where people hire everybody in executive. First, get this structure. First, create this structure, keep it handy, and then start the hiring. Let's discuss this. Quickly, where would you hire Daniel Sloan? Related actions of XYZ Motors. Do the hire. Daniel Slow. And then what would you do then? You go to executive, you go to the XYZ Motors Executive Organization, hire 4 workers, then you go to XYZ. Motor sales, hire a truck, navigate to XYZ Motors manufacturing that and hire. No, Watson, only after you hire all 7 workers. After you hire all 7 workers, then you should assign the role of manager. Please make a note of this. Do not worry about assigning the role of manager from the beginning. First hire everybody, then go and assign the role of manager to the individual people and whoever is the manager, give yourself a round. An hour or two to finish this assignment. You should not take this long, but at least, but still give yourself an hour or 2 hours at most to do this assignment. All anybody who is still doing assignment 1 still not done with assignment 1 myself, but try to finish it with it by this weekend. I know it's a holy weekend. You guys will have plans, but still take out an hour and try to finish it off. Try to finish off the assignment 1 because I would want to. I don't want you to lag behind, especially in terms of assignments. Please, thank you. I know you are. You have a lot of other things to take care of, but please take this 1 hour and try to finish this assignment. If you are able to do assignment 2 over the weekend, very nice and good, but try to finish at least assignment 1 this weekend on set. On Friday evening 6 p.m. Pacific, the tenant will go down for maintenance. That is a normal behavior. Do not get too upset over it. It is normal behavior that the tenant will be down for 12 hours from Friday 6 p.m. to Saturday 6 a.m. Pacific time. For a trans tenant to India time it is from entire morning of Saturday it will be down and also afternoon it will and come up again late evening. Don't plan to do anything on a Saturday morning. If you are in India ever not part of the training, ever do not plan to do that. It will not work. I am sure you would be able to do this assignment. If not, I will share the solution to you next week. All now let's start talking about another very interesting topic, and that is sorry. I have a question, Chris. I don't know whether It was to ask in position management and job management, we have two different things. We will be assigning job profiles to each everything. I was confused on this part because I have seen hiring training manager in job management, and I have seen we have created a position to have. How does this works? The job profile mandatory at the time of hiring. Yes, you have to specify a job profile irrespective of whether it is position management or job management. When you create a position, you may put in the job profile. At that point, when you create a position, even when you set the hiring restrictions, you may put in the job profile. But when you are doing the actual hiring, at that point you have to specify the job profile. I did it in one way. When I was creating the position, I did not put the job profile. But when I set the hiring restrictions in the job management, I used a job profile just to show you that it can be done. But when you are actually hiring, that is the point that you have to choose a job profile irrespective. Staffing, you have to choose a job profile at the time of hiring. Whatever it might be, we have to choose it. And as letting position management, if I say I want to hire some HR manager, update the title as HR manager and I'll hire and I'll link it with a profile. When it comes to job, yes, when it comes to job management, is there anything that we can title or something? That's why I am confused. You take it from the job profile. Take it. Take it from the job profile. The job profile will have a title. Yes, it. You will be from there, and after you hire, there is a concept called the business title. If you want to change it, you can change the business title of a worker. You can do that as it's a business title. You won't change the job profile or anything, but we will just change the business title. I'll show that to you. But as of now, just focus on hiring workers. Focus on hiring workers by creating I mean you. As part of the assignment to it will be job management anyway. Create multiple job profiles and use it for hiring. We have this time profile in location. What is the significance of having it in location? Why not in the job profiles or hiring restrictions? That's why it works. That's how Workday works because it puts it in the location. That's how it is. Designed it picks it up from the location. Any reason for that, or the reason is I'll just take a guess. I'm not sure why it was actually designed in that way. But maybe they say that in maybe the number of hours makes more sense with a location. Because maybe, let's say in France, people work for 35 hours a week. Maybe in us it is 40 hours a week because that is more generic or more related to the location and the local laws. That's maybe the reason that they did it in that way. It has to do with the local laws. Maybe I'm just taking a guess. I'm not 100% sure. And we have learned that when we create an employee for hiring, we can assign a company. When are we going to do it? Is it during the compensation financial time? Company will be assigned, or yes, no, not during compensation. When we do our business process, when we do our business process, then we will add a step in the business process where we will assign the organizations as of now. Now, if I look at the organization, if I look at the members, Martin Walters, I look at his job and organizations. If I look at his organizations, do we see a company and cost center automatically filled? Where did it come from? Inherited. Inherited from what? From the supervisory organization. That's correct. If I go to the supervisory organization, which is executive, remember the organization assignments, company, and call center. That is where it picks it up from. You got it. Company and call center have been assigned to this worker. I did that already smartly. I did that already. But yes, the option to choose which company this worker is going to belong to, or maybe which cost center. This worker is going to belong, that we will give the editable option when we do the business process, because there we will say assign organization as a task. Somebody has to assign the organization where the hard partner or the compensation partner, etc., they will be able to choose something other than the default, because these values are the defaulted values. We have just put it in the default, but when we do it properly, when we do the business process, we would get the option to choose something else other than the default. But good question. Thank you for asking me. Krish, in the job management, the job will stay forever. That, or can we close it? Or for a job management, why would you close it? No, I just ask because no. It's if you see the at least hire date, availability date. These are all different. If you are creating new job, you will have different at least hire date or ever it. Why? When you hire someone, you have that. You have the option to give the hire date for that particular worker. You see, the availability date is the 14th of March, but when I hired the worker, I gave the hire date as the 16th of March for Martin Walters. It doesn't have any bearing on the availability date. You see, the hire date is the 16th of March for Martin Walters. You might want to change it. You might want to change the hiring restrictions if, let's say, you do not want to hire for this organization anymore. That may be the reason you do not want to hire anyone anymore in this organization. Then what we do? Then what should we do? If you do not want to hire anyone else, it is organization. We can close. We can please. Hiring, we can freeze the hiring. What we can do is we can go to the related actions and we can go to organization, staffing, and we can freeze the hiring manage organization. Hiring trees you can put this organization under hiring trees. You will say we are not going to hire anyone for some time. That we can do, but we will still want the option to be able to hire someone in this organization later if you want. If you want to change the hiring restrictions, yes, you may. You go to the related actions and then you go to organization and you have the option to edit hiring restrictions. You want a different job profile, you want a different location, you want a different worker type, you can edit that, no problem. Let's say I do not want to restrict to employee. I want employee as contingent workers. Just take it off. Take this restriction off. You want to change the availability date. Yes, you may. You may change that. You want to change the earliest hire date. Yes, you can. You can edit the hiring restrictions. No, no problem. Got And how will be the accountability? If you see in position management, we have this many positions are available, and but if you see that in job management, only you will see the job, just your job. You don't have this many jobs. I need to. Could it hire or look in position management? You will have these many questions. I have to hire this man. You will have some accountability. How we can do with the job management in the real scenario? What do you think? What given the scenario? What do you think? Anybody answer that question? Can anybody try to answer that question? What was the question? Sorry. The question was, let's say in a position management we know upfront how many positions we are creating. We have a clear idea about how many workers we are going to hire. There is a proper audit and accountability. We are going to hire 10 workers or 5 workers or whatever in a job management. There is this open job. There is no control or there is no limit on how many people we are going to hire. How do we control that? How do we have the accountability is what the question is. Maybe once we are hiring in job after I mean during the hiring, we have to take the approvals. Yes, at the time of hiring, we have to take the approvals. It just moves the approvals from creating the position in a position management organization to the hire process to the hire process. That is where it moves. It's not, it is unaccountable, and we keep on hiring Dominic and Harry, whatever numbers we want. You would still need to go through the approval process when you are doing the hiring, and you need a verbal approval or at least something in email from your higher authorities that you are going to hire 5 more people. It is not maintained in Workday, but it will be maintained outside of Workday. That is what you can't do it. But the team is because you need to have the flexibility and speed. That is what you need in the job management form. Impose if you want, to control if you do not. Trust your employees and say, if I do not look, and they will end up hiring 5 more people. Then, of course, go for position man. That gives you a lot of control. It's all about in the system. You can see how many conditions, yes, in job management. There is no limit to how many people you can hire. It's the end of the session time. I wanted to start compensation, but we will start it on the next day. No worries. But I would expect you to work on your assignment over the next 3 days. Please try to make some progress. Try to finish your assignment. One, get started with your assignment. 2, you may not get the time to finish. If you finish it, very good, but it's if you do not finish, but at least get started and try to finish off your assignment. 1, do not fall behind on your assignments, please. It will be very difficult to catch up later. Talk to you next week. Goodbye. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.